It wasn't supposed to go like this. Not for the Lakers. Just a couple weeks ago, analysts were roasting them. Talking heads on TV labeled their free agency a failure. Fans on social media joked that the Lakers were cooked. The narrative was brutal. They'd swung and missed on the biggest names, settled for role players who weren't moving the needle, and looked destined for another wasted season. But then, out of nowhere, the story flipped. In a shocking twist nobody predicted, the Lakers managed to land DeAndre Ayton on a contract so absurdly team-friendly that it left the rest of the league stunned. And in a single move, everything changed, because this wasn't just about filling a hole in the lineup. This was about unlocking an entirely new system, a setup designed to bring out the best in Luka Doncic, preserve the greatness of LeBron James, and give Ayton himself the opportunity to rewrite his career. Suddenly, the team that was a laughingstock in July looked like one of the sneakiest contenders in the Western Conference. And the way it happened is nothing short of wild. Let's rewind to the beginning of free agency. The Lakers were in bad shape. First, they lost Dorian Finney-Smith, one of their most versatile defenders. That was a blow to their rotation and a gut punch to the fan base. Then, they completely struck out in the big man market. Quality centers were getting scooped up quickly, and Los Angeles looked paralyzed. Their only meaningful pickup? Jake LaRavia. A nice player, sure, but hardly the kind of splashy signing Lakers fans expect. On paper, this was a disappointing offseason, and by the end of day one, the Lakers looked like a team without direction. Their center depth was especially alarming. Jackson Hayes, a project player with athletic upside but serious limitations, was penciled in as the starter. That sent a clear message. This roster wasn't ready to compete at the highest level. The tone around the league was unanimous. The Lakers had fumbled again. But then, the impossible happened. In one of the most unexpected twists of the offseason, the Portland Trail Blazers bought out DeAndre Ayton. Yes, the same Ayton who was once a number 1 overall pick. The same Ayton who helped Phoenix reach the finals just a few years ago. The same Ayton still in his mid-20s, with the size, mobility, and touch that most teams crave. The move sent shockwaves across the league, and while most teams hesitated, the Lakers pounced. Los Angeles signed Ayton to a 2-year deal worth just $16.6 million total. That's not just a good contract, it's daylight robbery. In today's NBA, you can barely get a reliable backup center at that price. The Lakers locked down a starting caliber big for the cost of a mid-tier rotation piece. No assets traded, no messy sign and trade negotiations. Just money on the table and a quick signature. It was clean, simple, and devastatingly effective. And just like that, the Lakers flipped the entire narrative. So why does this move matter so much? Because Ayton is more than just an upgrade. He's a complete game changer. First, let's start with the basics. He's a legitimate starting center. At 7 feet tall with mobility and soft hands, he brings rebounding, rim finishing, and a level of versatility the Lakers haven't had at the 5 spot in years. More importantly, Ayton changes the geometry of the floor. He brings vertical spacing, the threat of finishing lobs above the rim that instantly transforms how defenses have to guard the Lakers. This matters because of who his teammates are. Luka Doncic and LeBron James, 2 of the greatest playmakers of their generation. Ayton thrives in the pick and roll. Luka thrives in the pick and roll. LeBron thrives in the pick and roll. Put them together, and suddenly the Lakers have a system tailor-made to exploit defenses every single possession. And here's the kicker. Ayton isn't just a lob catcher. His finesse game is real. He's deadly from mid-range. He's consistent with short jumpers, and his touch around the rim is underrated. This is the kind of offensive weapon the Lakers haven't had at the center position in years. Now, let's deal with the elephant in the room. Ayton has been criticized. People say he lacks motor. They question his toughness. They claim he disappears when the game gets physical. But here's the truth. Ayton has always been misunderstood. He's not the kind of bruising back-to-the-basket big that fans expect. He's finesse over force, skill over sheer power. His frame is slender. His style isn't about bullying opponents into submission, and he doesn't live at the free throw line. But that doesn't make him soft. It makes him different. That finesse allows him to be lethal in areas most bigs can't touch. Mid-range touch, smooth floaters, perfect timing on rim finishes. He's a modern big man, one who fits perfectly next to elite playmakers. In Phoenix, his role was limited. In Portland, his environment was dysfunctional. But in Los Angeles, surrounded by structure, spacing, and 2 Hall of Fame playmakers, this could be the moment Ayton rewrites his narrative from disappointment to difference maker. And speaking of playmakers, let's talk about Luka Doncic. We've already seen Luka elevate average centers into weapons. Dwight Powell, Daniel Gafford, guys who became reliable lob threats just by running pick and rolls with Luka. Now picture that same Luka paired with Ayton, a big who's bigger, faster, and more skilled than either of those players. It's terrifying. Imagine Luka surveying the floor. Defenses collapse to stop his drives. Ayton rolls to the rim, and suddenly he's getting the easiest buckets of his career. Lob after lob, dunk after dunk. And once defenses adjust, that opens up the shooters. Ayton's presence doesn't just help himself, it creates gravity that makes Luka's entire system thrive. And when Luka has a reliable rolling partner, that's when he plays at his absolute best. MVP level. Now let's look at LeBron James. At 41 years old, LeBron is still defying father time. He remains one of the smartest and most dangerous players in the game, but even LeBron can't take the same physical pounding forever. That's where Ayton comes in. With Ayton handling the dirty work inside, LeBron doesn't have to constantly bang bodies in the paint. He doesn't have to drive into traffic possession after possession. Instead, he can lean into his greatest gift: vision. LeBron's passing is legendary. His ability to manipulate defenses and create open looks for teammates is unmatched. Now, with Ayton as a consistent pick-and-roll partner, LeBron racks up easy assists while saving his body. It's not just about Luka, it's about prolonging LeBron's dominance. Less wear and tear, more efficiency, a smoother path to one more deep playoff run. And then there's Austin Reeves. The biggest winner of the Ayton signing might not be Luka or LeBron, it might be Reeves himself. Here's why. When Luka and Ayton run pick and roll, defenses collapse. That creates wide open looks for shooters. And Reeves is already an efficient scorer. Give him clean shots and he becomes a nightmare. Reeves thrives when he doesn't have to force the issue. With Ayton drawing attention inside and Luka orchestrating, Reeves can focus on what he does best: knocking down open jumpers, attacking closeouts, and making smart plays. The Lakers didn't just add a center, they supercharged their role players. Of course, no move is perfect, and Ayton isn't a defensive anchor. You're not getting Rudy Gobert here. He's not going to lead the league in blocks. There will be nights when the Lakers' interior defense gets exposed, but here's the thing. Ayton's not a liability either. His mobility allows him to switch on to guards, hedge on pick and rolls, and recover in ways that most bigs can't. He may not erase shots at the rim, but he's smart enough to hold his ground. And when you combine that with LeBron's defensive IQ, Luka's improved rotations, and LA's ability to run hybrid schemes, the defense doesn't have to be elite. It just has to be good enough. Because if the Lakers are scoring 120 points a night, their defense doesn't need to be perfect. All of this, though, comes down to one man, Luka Doncic. Last season wasn't Luka's best. He came into camp out of shape, still dealing with the fallout of the Dallas drama, and he never fully hit his stride. His efficiency dropped, his body language sagged, and for the first time, people wondered if Luka had plateaued. But this year feels different. He's had a full offseason to train without distractions. No franchise drama hanging over him. A team built entirely around his strengths. New shooters to space the floor, and, of course, Ayton as his new running mate. Everything points to a monster bounce-back year. And if Luka returns to MVP form, if he's putting up 30-plus points, grabbing rebounds, dishing out 8 or 9 assists every night, the Lakers don't just become competitive, they become a force in the Western Conference. So what does this all mean in the bigger picture? Realistically, 50 wins is on the table. A top 4 seed in the West is well within reach. At minimum, a second-round playoff run feels like the floor. But the ceiling? That's where things get interesting. If Luka returns to MVP form, if LeBron stays healthy and fresh, if Ayton plays with a chip on his shoulder, this team has the talent to make a deep playoff run. Denver, Phoenix, Oklahoma City, everyone's talking about them. But the Lakers may have just pulled off one of the sneakiest power moves of the offseason. At the end of the day, DeAndre Ayton isn't just another signing. He's a floor raiser, instantly making the Lakers better than they were last year. And he's a ceiling expander, giving them possibilities they didn't have before. For Ayton, this is a fresh start, a chance to redefine his career and prove the critics wrong. For Luka, it's the perfect partner to unlock his genius. For LeBron, it's a way to extend his greatness without grinding himself down. And for the Lakers as a whole, it's a move that could turn them from afterthoughts into disruptors. So while everyone else keeps focusing on the usual suspects, don't be surprised if the Lakers crash the party, because the purple and gold, they might be back in business. What do you think? Did the Lakers just pull off the heist of the offseason? How far can this team actually go with Luka, LeBron, and Ayton leading the way? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and if you enjoyed this breakdown, smash that like button and subscribe for more high-level NBA content every week. And if you want to see how another contender is quietly building a roster that could shock the league, check out my breakdown of the Milwaukee Bucks right here. Trust me, you don't want to miss it.